Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Yes, we begin with breaking news unfolding in Trenton, where an 11-year-old boy has died after falling into the Detroit River.
He somehow fell into the water this afternoon. It took a dive team about an hour to find him. His body was pulled from the Trenton Channel. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. We have a crew headed to Trenton right now, and we'll have a live report from the scene ahead on Local 4 News. Our other top story tonight, and our most clicked on story on clickondetroit.com, that is a 70-year-old man in the hospital right now after being severely beaten outside of a bar in Wayne.
Police say it was these two men who did it. Our Jason Colthorpe shows us what happened. He also updates us on the victim as he tries to recover.
30-year veteran of the Detroit Police Department, Roy Houston, laid up in his hospital bed after what police call a vicious attack.
He had surgery on his wrist yesterday, so he's still in pain. Face is still swollen.
Houston's son says his father also has defensive stab wounds on his hands and arms. His dad just started talking yesterday and will likely be in the hospital for at least another week.
Unbelievable. I mean, he's been over there 7 years. It's like, wow.
Houston lives in the retirement building behind me, and some of his neighbors and employees at the bar say it was not unusual for him to sit right here with his dog, listening to his car radio for hours, even well into the night. Well, 2:30 in the morning Saturday, he was right here. And that's when the two suspects and a third person walked by, and moments later, words were exchanged. Soon after, punches exchanged. Then a knife came out, and even a car radio.
Broke all those windows, jumped on top of his car.
35-year-old Ryan Fletcher and 23-year-old Jacob Rose, both of Garden City, are charged with assault with attempt to murder and assault with a dangerous weapon, the knife. But they also used a radio to beat Houston.
Put away? Yeah, that's not tolerated. That's just uncalled for.
Yeah, you guys mentioned this story was extremely popular on clickondetroit.com. Well, when it started exploding earlier on social media, there was a lot of talk this was a hate crime. But I talked to police. They interviewed numerous witnesses at the scene, and they say there is no evidence that this was racially motivated in any way. Devin?
Well, Jason, you also mentioned a third person. What's the situation there now?
That was a woman who was with the two suspects. She was actually arrested in this case, but after the evidence was presented to the Wayne County prosecutor, they decided not to press charges against her. Devin?
All right, Jason. Now we got some developing news. A former Fiat Chrysler executive and the wife of a former UAW vice president have both been indicted on federal charges. Monica Morgan, the wife of former UAW vice president General Holyfield, has been charged, along with former FCA Labor Relations Chief Al Iacobelli and others on his staff. The two are accused of conspiracy and tax evasion. Iacobelli is said to have funded a luxurious lifestyle for the Holyfields. Our business editor Rob Maloney looking into this case. We'll have a full update on Local 4 News coming up at 6. Karen?
Arson investigators need your help tonight finding this man who is a person of interest in an arson that burned two firefighters. As you can see, he went running through a neighborhood when police tried talking to him. It happened in the 8500 block of Menach on Detroit's west side. But as Nick Monticelli reports, it started after two firefighters had to jump out of windows to save their own lives this morning.
Good evening. It has been an eventful day, to say the least, here on the west side. Firefighters first sent to this home. 3 of them get trapped in the fire. 2 of them are injured jumping out of windows. Then they find out the fire is intentionally set. And then as arson teams are here, one man runs away on a foot chase with police.
It was two young ladies. I don't know their names or nothing like that. You know, I kind of keep to myself.
Ernest Keene is not a busybody, but the fire across the street was impossible to miss. Around 4 a.m., arson investigators say someone poured flammable liquid inside of this home near a window and lit it on fire. It burned for a while before 911 was called, and someone said a person was trapped. 3 firefighters rushed in, but then there was a flashover.
And a flashover, it's that when everything is heated to a certain point, it just all burns, combusts at the same time. So that's what they call a flashover. It's very hot, very, you know, once it happens, I mean, it's like you run for your life.
They jumped out of windows to save their lives. To make matters worse, no one was ever trapped inside that needed rescue. So hearing about those firefighters injured certainly is one thing, but seeing their gear is another. For instance, you've got the tanks, their helmets, or their turnout gear. Right here, it separates some burns only at 900 degrees.
On the hood, that broke open as well, and there's 2 layers there, and but he got a burn right behind his ear.
The rest of their gear tells the story. 2 firefighters have 1st and 2nd degree burns on their face, ear, chin, bicep, and more. In the meantime, arson investigators tried talking to this man who took off. Police searched the neighborhood, but to no avail. He is a person of interest for the arson that badly burned 2 firefighters.
So now we've got basically our firefighters giving their skin for something, a senseless act like that.
Detroit's West Side, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
And when the person or people who did this are caught, they could also be charged with assault on a public safety officer, which is a serious felony. The Detroit arson team has a tip line. If you know anything, call them at 313-628-2900.
Well, police are still searching for a 17-year-old who was kidnapped on Detroit's West Side yesterday.
This is Jalen Wilson. He was taken from the side of a home on Westwood Street near Warren Avenue. Witnesses say they saw 3 men push the teen into the trunk of a silver car, either an Impala or a Malibu. They also said a woman was driving the car. If you have any information on where Jalen may be or who took him, call police.
The U.S. Senate just voted down a full repeal of Obamacare in just this past hour. That's just part of a very big news day in Washington. The tweet started early with the president delivering a bombshell announcing he is banning transgender people from serving in the U.S. military. Add to that new verbal attacks on his Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Blaine Alexander following another very busy day at the Capitol. Blaine?
Devin, this announcement caught lawmakers and many in the Pentagon completely off guard. Today, the White House couldn't even exactly explain how this change would be implemented.
Today, from the president's Twitter account, political threats and new policy. President Trump announcing transgender individuals will no longer be allowed to serve in the U.S. military, citing tremendous medical costs and disruption. A strong about face from then candidate Trump, who called himself a friend of the LGBT community.
Who's better for the gay community and who's better for women than Donald Trump?
On Capitol Hill, outrage.
Yeah, I cannot imagine making military and national security policy by tweet.
From Republican Senator and war hero John McCain, any American who wants to serve our country should have the opportunity to do so and should be treated as the patriots they are.
It's a very difficult decision. It's not a simple one, but the president feels that it's the best one for the military.
And a Twitter attack, first on Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski, one of 2 Republicans voting against yesterday's health care measure. Then, once again, targeting his own Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. His former Senate colleagues now rushing to his defense.
He's trying to get Sessions to quit, and I hope Sessions doesn't quit.
Jeff Sessions stuck his neck out for this president, and now look what the president's doing to him, chopping his head off.
For his part, Sessions is showing no signs of stepping down, and his staff says he has no plans to do so.
And today, the White House said that the president wants Sessions to continue doing his job, at least for now. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, Blaine, by the way, neither the White House nor the Pentagon is saying yet when the military will begin implementing this new ban.
Back to the breaking news we're following right now from Trenton after an 11-year-old has drowned in the Detroit River.
Little boy went into the water around 1 o'clock this afternoon in the Trenton Channel, but was unable to get out on his own, it appears. Jermont Terry is now live at the scene with more. Jermont?
Yeah, Devin, we know that little boy jumped into the river. He was playing with his brother, but unfortunately, as you mentioned, that 11-year-old did not resurface. He was under the water, according to police, for close to an hour. And many crews, along with the Coast Guard, responded trying to find this little boy. We have some video from Sky 4 that kind of sets the scene for us. Now, when they eventually found this 11-year-old, he was found near some boats that were docked along the water here. Now, when the emergency crews found him, they did resuscitate him. They rushed him to Beaumont Trenton Hospital, but unfortunately, the 11-year-old did not survive. So a sad day out here in Trenton as this 11-year-old died after playing with his brother here along the river. It's unclear right now if any adults were in the area with this 11-year-old. But again, the breaking news: an 11-year-old died after drowning here along the water. Reporting live with breaking news in Trenton, I'm Jermont Terry, Local 4.
All right, Jermont. Meantime, police are investigating a deadly shooting in Ypsilanti last night. Emergency crews were called to a home in the area of George Avenue and Andrea for shots fired. When deputies arrived, they found a 30-year-old man suffering from a gunshot wound. The deputies rendered aid, but the man died at the scene. So far, there's no suspect, no motive. If you have any information, contact police.
4 Live radar is clear down here in Metro Detroit, but there is some big rain today up north.
As we get closer to the weekend, we could see some storms just like that down here, so we need to be prepared, of course. It is getting hot and more humid, so let's check in for Ben. What about storms this evening?
You know, parts of our north zone have already seen some rain, and it's possible we could get a little bit more. And we're talking mainly Sanilac County here around Sandusky. You can see the last push of water now starting to move off of the shoreline into the lake. Didn't drop a whole lot in the way of wet weather as far as the amounts of rain. Estimates of about a couple tenths of an inch from those showers, and a couple lightning strikes out there as well. There is a chance we could see a few more, but most of that rain will stay bottled up to our north this evening. Once we get past that, we will start ushering in thunderstorm chances tomorrow. But the story tonight is going to be the humidity. We'll be in the 70s, eventually down into the 60s in a couple spots for lows. But it is not going to be comfortable sleeping weather, and we'll see how long the humidity sticks with us coming up in a few minutes. Okay.
Well, we're just getting started here at 5.
Got much more to come here, including Michigan. The auction block. We'll tell you how you can get in on the bidding. Also, a huge shakeup in Michigan's beer industry to talk about.
And a dangerous game playing out in a neighborhood on Detroit's west side. Kids riding on top of cars. Just wait until you see what the man behind the wheel in this video has to say about it.
But first, from tragedy to triumph, you'll hear what Sean English is saying today after taking his first steps since losing his leg in that tragic crash on I-96. Our special report is next at 5.
Tonight, new at 6.
Charges tonight in a deadly crash that killed a Wayne County road worker who's being held responsible. Also in good health, the benefits of a 60-second jog. Sound too good to be true? Experts have the proof. You need to add it to your routine.
From tragedy to triumph, we have followed the journey of Sean English from that awful crash to a trip to Chicago for his prosthetic to today as he took his first steps.
Sean English posted that video to Twitter today, taking those first steps without even holding on to the bars for support.
Wow. Awesome amount of progress in a very short period of time, and he's been so impressive about it every step of the way. Dr. Frank McGeorge talked with Sean this afternoon. What a story this has become, Frank.
Absolutely, Karen and Devin. You know, we say all the time that someone has a great attitude. So I want to really distinguish Sean as having even more, from his positivity to his gratitude to just be alive, to his determination to not only walk but to run again. This 16-year-old should be an inspiration to everyone. In April of this year, as a Good Samaritan helping victims of a car accident, Sean English was struck by a second car. Another Good Samaritan at this scene lost her life. He lost one of his legs. As an avid runner on the track team at U of D Jesuit, Sean wasn't going to let this stop him. He knew he would run again, and today he took his first steps to recovery, literally.
I've been waiting to do this for so long. It meant the world to me just to be able to walk. So it was a lot of fun. I never thought I'd come a time and say that I had fun walking, but I had fun walking. So it was amazing.
The prosthetic he used today was not his permanent leg. He was given the use of a loaner to take his first steps.
They were really, Sean, do you want to do this? And I said, yes, like 100% I want to do this. So they really worked hard and got it going pretty quickly. Came as a great little pre-birthday surprise for me, I guess. I'm very happy that they did it. I was completely surprised. I didn't think it would be until August.
His custom-fitted prosthetic is expected sometime in August. From the standpoint of, being able to walk again, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to the most?
Running, that's the big thing, of course. Do typical 16-year-old kid things.
Well, so many people are rooting for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to try my hardest, and it's hard not to have a smile on my face.
Sean credits his progress and attitude to something very simple.
I was happy to be alive, first off, so everything from there was just easier. It wasn't me thinking that I lost my leg, it was me thinking that I didn't lose my life. I'm going for success. Until I hit success, I'll keep going, and I don't know what my definition of success is. If it's a gold medal, if it's a gold medal. If it's to do an Ironman, it's to do an Ironman. If it's to complete college, it's to complete college. I mean, really, anything I put my mind through after this accident is just gonna get easier from there.
anything he puts his mind to. You know, his story is truly remarkable, and I cannot wait to continue to watch his progress. And of course, we're going to continue to follow him through really his impressive journey. He is one remarkable kid.
His perspective is what's so
exactly.
encouraging.
The attitude has just been so powerful.
He's kind of got an old soul.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
does.
you're right.
That whole interview, he smiled the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Great.
Thank you, Doc.
Well, let's get Ben back in here. We talked about our part of the radar clear at the moment, but
yes, that will change tomorrow. We've got one shot of rain this week, and then we resume with the sunshine, and we get rid of this humidity.
That would be nice.
Yeah, which we're
do that.
not going to shed a tear over that. Temperatures haven't been too terrible out there, but it does feel a little bit different because of the higher humidity. We're at 81 right now at Metro, 70s here on the east side, 79 at the city, and 77 in Port Huron. A little bit cooler here where those showers and thunderstorms rolled through parts of Sanilac County. But hey, that humidity is back. Came in just on time today with those numbers starting to spike now into the mid 60s, and that's kind of what we call the threshold of muggy. 66 right now at Mount Clemens, 65 in Grosse Ile. The rest of the area is in the low 60s, but we'll continue to watch these humidity levels increase tonight and stay with us through the day tomorrow. So here's where that rain is right now. We just have that line sort of rolling through Sanilac County. There's a little bit more activity coming out of Saginaw, and that could brush the county again when we get through the next couple hours. But generally, most areas are going to be dry, especially south of 69. This stuff's just going to be in the northern section of our north zone. Otherwise, clouds have been on top of us today. That's probably not going to change tonight. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies, so not a whole lot in the way of sunshine tomorrow, and our thunderstorm chances get better. First of all, though, as that front approaches, we could be seeing a few showers even by the morning commute, though it's a slight chance. A lot of us are going to stay dry, but watch out for that. And then once we get into the afternoon, when the front gets closer, that's when the chances of showers and possibly some thunderstorms gets better. However, it does look like most of the severe weather, in fact, all of it, should stay to our south. We're really not anticipating any rough stuff with that front, and that's it. The rain cuts off before the sun goes down on Thursday night, but watch what happens on Friday. That low is going to be close enough to us, and there's going to get a little reinforcing forcing shot of energy. There may be a shower around at spots, especially in the morning hours on Friday. We'll have to watch that closely, but generally high pressure is going to come in, take care of that, and keep us dry for Friday through the upcoming weekend. So here are your low temperatures tonight. Definite feel, definitely, as we drop down to around 70 degrees in the city. A lot of upper 60s outside of Detroit. South zone going to be in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. And as we look at our west zone, those temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 60s. Not a whole lot of difference because of the cloud cover around with those numbers across the area tonight. Highs going to 83 tomorrow. One of our warmer numbers, believe it or not, in our 7-day forecast. We're not going to fall far from average. In fact, when temperatures drop on Friday, they're only going to go down to 78, but it's the difference in that humidity that's really going to make things feel different as we go into the upcoming weekend. Highs will warm to the mid 80s next week, and the rain chances are gone. So it is almost full sunshine from Saturday through Wednesday of next week. Just got that one shot of rain coming tomorrow.
Rather summer-like.
Yeah, very much so.
It should be. All right, Ben.
Well, wildfires raging at one of the world's most popular tourist destinations, where crews are up against as entire towns have now been evacuated.
But first, we've got stories making headlines across the state, including a young boy killed at summer camp. We'll have that next.
Across Michigan tonight, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to own a piece of our state's history. And up in Bel Air, a huge shakeup in one of Michigan's fastest-growing industries.
Let's start, though, with a tragedy over in Portage. That's where a 7-year-old boy has died after being hit by a car while attending camp. Accident happened Tuesday afternoon at a crosswalk near 12th Street Elementary in Portage. The boy was rushed to a hospital, but he died there several hours later. He was from Texas Township. The camp he was attending, run by the Portage Public Schools. A spokeswoman said the boy was under adult supervision at the time of the crash, but the investigation continues.
One of the world's biggest beer companies has just bought a portion of one of the state's most successful craft brewers. Shorts Brewing Company has announced it sold a 20% stake to Heineken-owned Lagunitas Brewing. The Up North Brewery is based in Bel Air and Elk Rapids. Last year, it started selling beers outside of Michigan. In a statement, Shorts founder said the deal was made to ensure the brewery's continued success.
Have I got a deal for you? Real estate agents will sometimes say opportunities like this don't come around too often in hopes of getting a sale, but these new listings really deserve that line. The U.S. government is auctioning off 4 lighthouses around the Great Lakes, and anyone can bid on them. Staying close to home, for example, the Detroit River Light is up for bid. That's in the Lake Erie at the start of the Detroit River. There is also the 14-foot Shoal Light, which is over here. This is up in Sheboygan. Opening bid on this one, 15 grand. That's a lot for 15 grand, it seems to me. We move up to the UP. There is the Lansing Shoal Light. That's, we're told, a bit of a fixer-upper. And finally, if high-rise living is for you, check out the Poe Reef Lighthouse. Bids on this one start at $10,000.
New at 5:30.
Big security changes. I'll now tell you what you'll have to take out of your bag or any carry-on as you make your way through airports across the country. We're live right after the break.
How often do you hear about a new facility that has 1,000 jobs available, like right now?
It goes back to customer demand. So as we see that demand rise, we want to make sure that we're meeting it.
We'll let you know who these guys are and why it's so significant that this is here.
It's driving this neighborhood absolutely crazy. A dangerous case of free-range kids. And now an adult in the neighborhood is letting those kids ride on top of his car.
I only do not too much, but yeah, that's dangerous.
What that driver has to say for himself and what their parents are saying. Only on Local 4.
It's dinner time.
Neighbors outraged over a dangerous game playing out on their street. Car surfing with children and pets. This video proves just how dangerous it is.
In fact, those are young kids riding on the roof of that car you just saw. Neighbors say it is happening all the time in their Detroit neighborhood.
Our Sean Lay went to check things out and talked to the man who was behind the wheel in this video.
I'm going to show you what's happening in this neighborhood that is driving neighbors here absolutely crazy. They're worried a kid is going to get killed. Inside this laptop,
this is going on 24/7.
Is a mountain of evidence sent to Kate Young.
I'm telling you, you would not believe it.
Neighbors all over her area send her videos of young kids, toddlers to 11 years old, they say, left to behave wildly in the streets unsupervised. They send her photos of Detroit police, fire, EMS, called to the home over and over. And now this shocking video of 2 toddlers car surfing with a dog on top of a BMW last week.
All right, something's got to happen. One of them kids are going to get killed or they're going to hurt somebody else.
9 kids in all live at the home in question on Fenton. Photos show the car surfing continued this week.
It's dangerous over here for the kids.
Sisters Michelle and Erica Bolin say their street is not safe for their kids, but the video and photos show their kids and family members engaging in the unsafe stunt.
My nephew, gonna be dangerous. I don't want my nephew to fall and get hooked.
Who's driving this car?
That I do not know.
We found the driver of the BMW. He says his name is Max, and he knows a kid could get killed letting them ride on top of his car.
Why do you do it?
Why do I do it? I only do not too much.
How fast do you go when you do that?
Oh, I don't go fast at all.
She's done everything she's supposed to do. The NPO, we've posted stuff to our neighborhood app, contacted our head of our neighborhood patrol over here.
What Kate is talking about is that her neighbors down the street have called DPD, have documented these unsafe situations, called CPS, even used the Nextdoor app that Detroit police want neighbors to use to report this. They've seen no results. They hope by coming to Local 4 that these authorities will get on the stick here and check out what's happening. These kids riding on top of the car and with a pet, Devin.
Well, it's interesting, Sean, with the neighbors taking these videos, these pictures, but not speaking out.
Yeah, we met with them. They shared with us a lot of the videos and pictures. There are several of them. They're the ones calling the authorities, and they say things are so wild on this street. They really fear some retaliation from neighbors, so they're staying quiet for now.
Yeah. All right, Sean. Well, let's move now to a project that is aiming to be a real game changer for the whole region.
Yeah, it is this here, a massive fulfillment facility in Livonia. Amazon is preparing to open, dwarfing essentially its Brownstown sorting facility. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney got a look inside today. He's taking us on a tour.
They used to make General Motors components, car parts here. But that ended years ago, and now Amazon comes in and builds this fulfillment center. It's 1 million square feet. You could put 20 football fields inside here. You want to go for a run at lunch? It's a mile around the building. But perhaps most importantly about this is that Amazon brings in 1,000 full-time jobs, which is about a third the size of a major automotive assembly plant. This is one of the largest of 70 Amazon delivery centers in the nation. It's here because it's all about location, near the highways and the airport, and good old-fashioned demand. So says plant operations manager Fred Hullway.
So we're hoping that this site will fill a demand gap for the northern, region of the Midwest.
Since he's not going to give me one, I have to buy the Steve Garagiola only one cookbook that I need. And you're probably wondering when you go to push that proceed to checkout button, where the item's coming from. Well, take a look at this. These are the racks that here in Livonia, your item will be stored on. But the Livonia Center is designed to handle the larger items Amazon sells, like furniture, dishwashers, and kayaks. Job hunters can expect to do
picking, packing, shipping, stowing, which is putting product away.
Livonia Mayor Dennis Wright is ecstatic Amazon picked his city, but knows it comes with risk.
You might lose a Sears, a Kmart, a Carson's. That's where you're rolling the dice.
But you
gotta go with the times. And in our future, you're looking at the future today.
The expectation is they'll have this place finished and ready to go for the holidays. And they have a lot of jobs open, so they say if you want to get in on an application, we have one linked at clickondetroit.com. In Livonia, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, and Amazon also tells us its full-time employees start day one, get this, with full-time benefits, including full medical and 401k with a 50% match. There's also an educational plan they have in place where Amazon will pay for 95% of a degree for any employee who wants to go back to school. Governor Rick Snyder signed a package of bills today that hope to create more jobs here in Michigan.
Exactly. It's the Good Jobs for Michigan bills signed in Rochester Hills. Today they'll allow businesses to keep a portion of the income tax generated by new employees. A group of businesses and economic development groups supported this bill, noting that Michigan needs to be more competitive against neighboring states if it's going to lure these really big employing businesses.
Recognize we're in a competitive environment with other states. These states have tools that we don't have, where essentially they provide resources to come into their jurisdictions.
And first up in the bullseye for this is Foxconn, which is talking about moving a plant to the U.S., which would be thousands of jobs. Now, in order to be eligible for the new bill, employers would have to meet specific requirements. Those include having at least 25 jobs that pay 25% or higher than the average annual wage of the region. No decision on Foxconn yet. We're still waiting.
Now to some big news today from the TSA that every air traveler needs to know.
Yeah, new security procedures are going into effect nationwide that is going to make getting through security even more complicated than it already has been. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester live at Metro, already being down there. Walk us through these changes, Hank, what you've seen so far.
Devin, Sandra, we're talking about any electronic item larger than your cell phone. So if you travel with an iPad, you're going to have to now remove those items from your carry-on for separate screening. It's already been going on here at Metro for a month, but now it is taking place at every airport across the country. If you fly, you need to know big changes are coming to airports across the country. TSA agents now requiring you to take out any electronic device larger than a cell phone. Take them out of your carry-on bag so they can be thoroughly screened. At Metro, traveler Angie Harris says she has no problem with that security change.
If it's for the better, then it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
The TSA saying by separating personal electronic items like laptops, tablets, e-readers, even handheld game consoles for screening, officers can work to get you through security quicker while also making sure everything getting through is safe. The new change was already tested at 10 airports across the country, including Metro, earlier this year. It didn't seem to cause any additional problems or longer lines at checkpoints, so now the change is being rolled out across the country. Back out here live at Detroit Metro, a look inside security right now, no issues. They've had a month to work out any potential kinks here at Detroit Metro, and they really never had a problem rolling this out. We've heard today, and we've been following the TSA Twitter account, a few issues at smaller airports, but most of the large airports, they have this situation handled. We're live here tonight at Detroit Metro. Back to you.
And Hank, what about if you're a pre-check passenger? Are you going to notice any changes?
Right, TSA pre-check or clear passengers, no changes at all. That's another reason TSA encouraging people to sign up if they have not done so already. Sandra, back to you.
All right, Hank Winchester live at Metro Airport tonight. Thanks, Hank.
State of Ohio executes an inmate for the first time in 3 years amid lethal injection controversies. Ronald Phillips was executed by lethal injection after the Supreme Court denied his request for a stay of execution. He was convicted back in 1993 of raping and killing his girlfriend's daughter. The girl's mother was also convicted of involuntary manslaughter, and she actually died in prison in 2008 from cancer. Well, usually when Ben talks about wildfires, we're talking about the west part of the country.
That's right, but today Ben is talking about some devastating fires somewhere that we really rarely associate with a wildfire.
When was the last time you heard Europe and wildfires in the same sentence together? This is fascinating. Check out what's happening over there. Southern Europe is sweltering in the grip of a heat wave. Strong winds and dry weather have sparked wildfires in the south of France, and that's near popular tourist spots that's along the French Riviera. In other parts of Europe, thousands of firefighters have been battling blazes in Portugal, while in Italy, the Pope has shut down the Vatican's historic fountains just to conserve water. But it is the south of France that has been hit the hardest. Raging wildfires forced the evacuation of 10,000 people overnight. France has actually asked for help from some of their neighboring countries. They describe that situation as critical, and they say that 15 square miles of land has burned along the Mediterranean coast, with several firefighters injured.
And this is supposed to be that idyllic time of the year to be there.
That's right. Stretch. Economically, they're probably losing a lot of money.
No doubt.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ben. Tennis star Venus Williams hitting back today after a wrongful death suit against her. The tennis star's legal team saying she's not to blame for a car crash that killed 78-year-old Jerome Barson and injured his wife, Linda. Her attorneys instead say the elderly couple was at fault. In new court documents, Williams' attorneys say the couple is at fault because they didn't maintain their car and they weren't wearing seatbelts. The new filing comes just weeks after Williams broke down in tears while talking about the accident at Wimbledon.
Really no words to describe how devastating.
The black box download from the Barson's vehicle shows that both Mr. and Mrs. Barson were wearing their seatbelts.
The victim's attorneys also are asking for Williams' phone records, including the voice records, the text data as well. The tennis star's legal team is opposing that request.
For every child, there comes a time when getting dropped off by mom or dad just isn't very cool anymore. Well, not for this guy.
Coming up new here at 5:30, what makes this specific drop-off at camp so hilarious?
Also, a bank robber tries to use the money he stole in a bizarre bid to get away. What he did that made it pretty easy for police to track him down. Doc?
Well, it was a disease they never expected their baby to catch. Coming up, a family speaking out with an important warning for everyone about a growing threat.
On Jeopardy!